So I remember riding down Market Street in Wilmington, Delaware. If you're not familiar with Wilmington, Delaware, it's okay because a lot of people aren't. No, on a serious note, Wilmington, Delaware is a powerhouse full of corporations, large banks, credit industries, you name it, we got it. So I was riding down Market Street with my mother. She was driving, I was in the passenger seat. And I saw a lot of men with their charcoal gray, tailored, expensive suits on, walking to grab their lunch. And I thought to myself, don't get too comfortable, because I'm coming for your job one day. Now, don't ask me why I was so competitive as a 12-year-old. I have no idea. But I always knew from a child I was going to have very big impact in corporate America. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chanelle S Reynolds. And I am in the sports industry, and I've been a professional in the sport industry for the past 10 years. I've always believed that anything that I put my mind to, I can do. I've always believed that. However, as a Black woman navigating the professional sport industry, I easily found that this career path is not always going to be easy. Navigation is not going to always be easy. So throughout this talk, I'm going to walk you through some of my journey. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about life lessons that I've learned along the way in hopes that you can apply some of these lessons to your respective industries. I'm going to introduce you to my personal success playbook to help you navigate throughout the workplace as a woman. The first lesson that I learned was guarding your empire. I remember being in a leadership meeting one day, and I was making some really good points, if I do say so myself. But I had this one coworker that made it their point to belittle everything I was saying in the meeting. I was upset, but more so I was hurt. Why would they do something like this to me? That situation lived in my head rent-free for the entire day. So much so that I couldn't think about anything else. So much so that I woke up the next day with that situation still on my mind. So after I woke up and I was picking out clothes for the next day, replaying that image in my mind, practicing how I was going to get smart to that coworker the next time I saw. I'm just joking. Y'all know how we do, though. We do practice our comebacks. But as I was picking out my clothes, I had an epiphany. I thought to myself, my brain is $1 million empire. Giving negativity my piece would be a bad investment. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. My brain is $1 million empire. So for every second that I spent giving this negative situation my piece, I was losing money. I was missing out on potential opportunity. I could have been thinking about my next book or my next podcast or my next strategy at work, but instead I allowed this thing to overpower me. So the first lesson that I learned was to guard my empire, AKA my mind, my moneymaker. The second lesson that I learned was to be bold, be confident, be you. You see, as Black women navigating in the corporate space, the conversation often comes up of us having the ability to show up as our authentic selves. Let me give you an example. Oftentimes the conversation has come up if, we can wear our natural hair to work. And as you can see, I don't subscribe to that foolishness, but I wasn't always this way. I wasn't always bold enough to wear my natural hair into work. I remember I really wanted braids because I was continuously pressing my hair out at the time. And this was a big thing. It was a mental battle. But I had another epiphany. I thought to myself, if this company doesn't want Chanelle S Reynolds with braids, then they don't want Chanelle S Reynolds who can generate multiple millions of dollars of revenue for their company. They also don't want industry thought leader, strategic thinker, corporate baddie, Chanelle. Okay, yes, y'all get the point. I had an epiphany that showing up as my authentic self was my superpower. And more importantly, showing up as my authentic self allowed the next Black girl behind me to show up as her authentic self. My last lesson that I learned is my ultimate favorite, the art of taking L's. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, an L is an embarrassment, some sort of adversity, or taking some sort of public loss. So I trademarked the term, the art of taking L's, to show individuals that you can use L's to your advantage. In fact, your experience with taking an L gives you a competitive advantage that your neighbor doesn't have. When I was first trying to break into this industry, I was getting so much rejection. I was hearing no after no after no. However, people see Chanelle S Reynolds, the big-time sports professional today, but they wasn't checking for me when I was Chanelle S Reynolds, your local shoe girl at the mall, with the bachelor's degree. This timeline in my life was a period where I felt the most rejection. However, during this time period, something was happening to my faith. It was getting built up. Something was happening in which I was developing a greater grit than I ever had before. On my lunch breaks, I would go to revise my resume. And on my free time, I would go to networking events and shake hands with the movers and shakers. And it was this time that I was really developing the characteristics that was going to drive me to be successful where I am today. So I wouldn't trade that opportunity for the world. That L, that loss became a lesson. Lesson number 3. So, ladies and gentlemen, I leave you with these 3 lessons that has helped me to navigate the corporate space. So I ask you to always guard your $1 million empire, be confident, and take your L's. Thank you.